Welcome back. Let's get the latest on the West London Tower Block fire. Mary Nightingale is in the ITV newsroom with an update. Morning, Mary.
Morning, Holly. Thank you very much indeed. London Fire Brigade say at least 6 people have died in a major fire at a tower block in West London. This is the scene at Grenfell Tower right now. It is a 24-storey tower block. There are around 120 flats and between 400 and 600 people are believed to live there. More than 250 firefighters are at the scene and 50 people have been taken to 5 hospitals. Lucy Watson reports.
A vision of sheer horror. Flames engulfing a 24-storey tower block in the dead of night as families and children lay asleep in their beds.
For everyone's safety, we just need to move you back a little bit.
Trapped, terrified residents waved cloths from windows in desperation as the building fell apart around them.
We saw people looking out the windows screaming help, help, flashing their lights and everything. And now all those windows, people are gone, literally gone.
No, I saw one person trying to jump out, one actually jump out, and obviously what happened, it's just a nightmare.
The blaze tore through the tower at terrific speed, destroying everything in its path. People did anything to try and escape, shielding themselves from the smoke whilst trying to make ropes to climb down. A man high up on the 11th floor makes a futile shout for help, believing that waiting to be rescued was safer. We don't know what has happened to him.
There was children banging on windows, you could hear women, men screaming, shouting out for help. And I mean, when the fire got to its peak point, I could actually hear a man screaming, and then all of a sudden the screaming just stopped.
People are jumping off buildings, people are screaming, help me, help me, help me.
I've seen videos of people stuck in the 2nd and 3rd floor, I think, where they were shouting out for help, held out things for help.
And there's like a guy hanging down.
He was trying to escape.
Kind of jump.
Those who did flee the blaze struggled to breathe. But a pat on the head from a stranger on a pavement was comfort for some, as others were frantic trying to contact friends and family. Because the fire continued to rage. Flames consuming the building of 140 flats. Hundreds of people lived here, but so many are unaccounted for. It was and still is desperate. 200 firefighters worked tirelessly through the night and into this morning. It was a battle to quell a ferocious blaze and a dangerous search for survivors.
The first crews were on scene in under 6 minutes and found a rapidly developing fire. As you can appreciate from looking at the building now, this has been a very serious and a very complex fire.
People looked on in fear, worried about their neighbours, their own safety and the structure itself. From first light, plumes of smoke from this towering inferno could be seen from Surrey, the next county. The Mayor of London declared it a major incident.
More than 250 firefighters, more than 100 police officers, more than 100 paramedics. They've taken more than 50 people to 5 hospitals.
Their faces show the terror of what they experienced, what they witnessed, and their distress for the dozens still missing. A home for so many ripped apart, lives devastated in minutes. Lucy Watson, ITV News.
OK, well, let's go live now to the scene. Our reporter Chris Shipp is there. So, Chris, what is the latest that you're hearing?
Well, Mary, at the moment, if you look at the building from the position I'm standing in at the moment, most of the fire is out, but about on the 13th, 14th floor there is still quite an intense flame going on, and the fire brigade just to the left of that still dousing the building in water. Now, since we last spoke an hour or so ago, Mary, I spoke to an eyewitness who lived in one of these houses immediately beneath this block of flats. He was quite clear that this new cladding that was put on the outside of the building in recent months was responsible for killing people. What he said is when he came out of his house at around about 1:45 in the morning, the flames were on the 9th or 10th floor. Within 15 minutes, he says, they were right at the top of that building. How did it spread so quickly? Well, he says the cladding on the outside of the building had created a flue in between the old concrete of the building and the new cladding, and that was responsible for sending the flames very quickly to the very top. Now, obviously, we can't speculate on the cause or what happened at the moment, but that's got to be one of the key parts of the investigation now. How that can happen in 2017 to a building that's only been subject to sort of renovation within the past few months.
It really is horrifying, as you say, Chris, and some desperate stories coming out. What are people saying to you?
Well, listen, everywhere around here, if you walk past the cafes and the streets, everyone's on their mobile phone. Everybody is talking about this because the scenes they witnessed last night, it's just beyond imagination. They're talking about hearing people screaming. They were holding out torches or their mobile phones or even fairy lights, one man told me, just swinging them, hoping that someone would notice them, someone would see and hear their cries for help. There was one eyewitness who spoke of seeing a baby dropped from, we think, quite high up. We think from about the sort of 9th or 10th floor and caught by someone below. Others, they talk of people almost willing themselves to jump to see, because that was clearly the only option open to them. It's just unimaginable. It's really difficult, Mary, to describe quite how horrific that must have been. And in this area right now, there's the smell of smoke, and absolutely everywhere, on building tops, on the pavements, on balconies, there are sort of big chunks of ash that have come off that building, and pieces are still falling off it now.
All right, Chris, but scene for the moment, thank you. And Emma Murphy is at a community centre where people who escaped are taking shelter. Emma, we are hearing some horrific stories. What are people there saying to you?
Well, truly awful testimonies about what went on last night and individual battles for survival. But of course, for the people here, it is the question of who actually has survived. A little while ago, I was talking to a lady who is missing her brother-in-law, her sister-in-law, and their 3 children. They were on the 21st floor. That lady is still here waiting now. She's had no more news and has been sat on the side of the road for hours, just hoping against hope that they might walk down the street, that come here to this community centre to get some clothes and some water and some food. But she knows that that is unlikely. A member of their family who spoke to them all just as the fire took hold last night said to them to leave, but they insisted that the advice they'd been given was to stay put because they would be safer inside their flat. And of course, they've heard nothing from them since then. It is a terrible wait for families here, people just hoping that soon, when the confusion clears, there will be some clarity.
Emma Murphy, thank you. Well, coverage continues on This Morning, and we will have the latest on itv.com/news. And the lunchtime news starts at the earlier time of 12:30. But for the moment, let's return to Philip and Holly.
Thank you, Mary. It appears the spirit of London knows no bounds, as we saw 11 days ago during the terror attacks. Londoners opened up their homes to give shelter, and they are doing it again.
Yes, Jamie Oliver has just posted on Instagram that he's offering up his restaurant today at the nearby Westfield shopping centre in Shepherd's Bush to anyone who was caught up in the tower block fire.
Well, let's head back to Alice Beer now, who's been joined by a survivor who has had a very dramatic tale.
Yes, absolutely. The streets are full of, as you can see, people bringing donations. And here I'm with Mickey and Hannah, who escaped from the 7th floor of the block when it was on fire. Mickey, tell us what happened. You first smelt burning.
Yeah, about 1:30, I was laying in bed watching a film, sipping in and out of sleepiness. My missus was a kid next to me and the baby was next door. So I'm falling asleep and I smelt this smell and I thought, that ain't right. So I've jumped out of bed. I thought it might have been a Kindle or an iPad or something that had been left on charge. So I've checked everything. It was all off. Everything was fine. So I'm wondering what the smell is. I've gone into the kitchen. I've opened the window to have a cigarette. Then I was going to go back to bed. And when I'm out smoking a cigarette, I heard someone saying, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger. And then screams and screams. And I thought, something's wrong here. And I could smell the smell coming stronger into the house. So I've gone to the front door, looked through the spy hole, and you could just see smoke everywhere. So I've opened the door to see if anyone was out there, and all the neighbours were coming out, going, get out of the building, get out of the building. There was a fireman there. He was saying, get out of the building as well. Use the
there was a fireman already in the staircase?
No, he was on the 7th floor, the fireman.
Right.
And I opened the door, he was on the 7th floor, and he asked us, get down the stairs, get down the stairs. But as we were going down the stairs,
You grabbed your little girl as well?
Yeah. But I've gone back in and I put my dressing gown on because I was in my boxer shorts so I could cover her face up because of the smoke. And then got my girlfriend, left the flat, went down to the ground floor, had to pass the 4th floor. It was pitch black there, smoke all pittering through it. When we got outside, we looked up and it was like the whole block was alight. Yeah. And it's that cladding. I think that cladding has helped it spread. It was like a wall to a fire. It's just.
But there was talk of the cladding before.
Yeah, that's right. There was complaints about the cladding before. People weren't too sure about it. But obviously, I mean, I was just getting on with life, so I wasn't really taking much interest in the cladding. It looked nice. I thought, but they must have had all the safety checks. Yeah. But it obviously didn't because it just went way, way too fast. It spread like wildfire. Yeah. It was unbelievable. It was horrific. The fire was so aggressive. And also, we'd been told that if in case of a fire, get a wet towel and put it under your door and stay in your house for up to an hour and you'll be rescued because it's got an hour's worth of resistance in it.
And after an hour, what state was your flat in?
Well, it was gone. It was gone.
So if you'd stayed...
If I'd stayed, I'd have been dead. And if I was asleep, I'd have been dead because the fire alarm wouldn't have woken no one up either. There's only one fire escape route, you know, for 300 or 400 people to get out of. It was horrendous.
Hannah, you got out, you got your little girl out, you're all alive, but you've got nothing now.
Nothing.
What are you doing? What's next?
Just wait and see whether council to house us and hopefully put us into some sort of temporary accommodation.
But your mother was searching for you, your sister was searching for you.
Yeah.
But your phone's in the flat.
Yes, they were trying to call my phone. Obviously, I was in such a panic. I just left the flat without my phone, so they were trying to call my phone and obviously couldn't get through to me. So yeah, worried sick.
My phone was the same. We left that in the flat as well. I just grabbed her and the kid and get out of it.
What happened when the family saw you?
Oh well, I can imagine. It was elated, tears, joy. But now I'm just thinking about all the people that are suffering. You see them listening to them. They still haven't found family members and people being stuck there. I was standing next to someone at 4 o'clock this morning. He was on the phone to a family member on the 23rd floor saying his family was saying, come and get me. Someone's got to get me. I can't get out. It's like something out of a horror movie.
Oh, Mickey, I can only wish you well for the next stage of putting your lives back together again. I hope you get a lot of help. We'll be here to do what we can. The stories are just around every corner. There's people who are making lists of missing people. It's just horrendous. It's so harrowing down here.
Thanks very much indeed, Alice. Well, we know already that sadly it would appear at these early stages that 6 people have lost their lives. The London Ambulance Service have said that 20 people are currently critical and being treated in hospital.
All right, we'll be with you after this break. Nice, really.
Right, well, we'll leave you now on another sad day in London. A special ITV news bulletin is coming up in just a few minutes. But our love and thoughts go out to anyone who has been caught up in this terrible fire, and also our admiration for the incredible community that surrounded them. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.